I am here because I want to share with you why it is so important that you honor this coming full moon. First, let me just say why honoring the moon in general is just a really great idea. In the world that we live in today, where we are celebrated for, encouraged to, socialized, educated to just go, 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 this perpetual productivity that we're expected to give of ourselves, right? Honoring the full moon gives us permission and invites us to just stop for a moment and simply be. And this can be as simple as looking up at the moon and putting your hands together and saying, thank you for illuminating the night sky. It could look like you just taking a moment to curtsy. So it really is, at its very simplest, an excuse, some permission to just stop for a moment and simply be. And simply be in an awareness that there is something bigger and greater and consistent and reliable that we are a part of. Because, of course, the moon has this most beautiful cycle of going from darkness to fullness and then back down to darkness again, just the way the cycle in our own bodies works. Our own feminine reproductive cycles work this way, just the way the seasons outside of us work. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Anything that has life experiences this cycle, and women are blessed to experience the cycle inside of us. So it gives us this permission. It invites us to just be in awareness of where we are in that cycle in our own lives in different areas. And so it's permission to feel all the feelings. It's permission to celebrate or to honor all of those different phases. And it reminds us that just as the sun rises and the sun sets, the moon waxes and the moon wanes. There is a tomorrow. There will be another opportunity. There is consistency. And in the world that we live in today, where everything feels so uncertain, isn't it beautiful to be reminded and to honor that ancient wisdom, nature's ancient wisdom, of the cycle. And so that is the second reason. So the first reason is really an excuse to simply stop and be. So many of us need that. And the second reason is that when we do stop and be, we connect not only to ourselves, but to something bigger, something reliable and consistent, something that represents. So when we do that, it's calming. It can actually support us to really calm and heal our nervous systems, which, again, given the state of affairs right now in the world, are likely in disarray. So those are the first three reasons, just very basic invitation, permission to stop, to connect to something bigger, and to calm ourselves. The full moon in particular is a moment of transformation. So it's that moment in time when light is cast on the moon and stuff is illuminated. And it also shines its light on things that are illuminated as an invitation to celebrate. And in fact, one could even argue that shining a light on that shadow side of things is worth celebrating because it brings it up to the light so that then we can process it and then we can respond to it. And so the moon invites us to sit in this, to sit in reflection of what is coming up for us and to celebrate what we've accomplished and who we've become in the past phase, and to sort of also take from that celebration this wisdom of discernment to really discern and choose what we want to take forward with us, what we want to let go of and release. And so while it's not necessarily that moment to plant seeds and to set intentions, though I'm going to get back to that because this moon is particularly special in that way. It's not that necessarily that moment. That traditionally is what you're invited to do under the new moon. But the full moon is a time when we begin a clear out so that we start to contemplate what we want to take. I'm looking down at my notes, what we want to take forward into our next phase. Go from building up to something and then we celebrate it and we shine it, and then we're stepping into a decision around what we want to take moving forward and what we want to leave behind. So that's what full moons in general are about. But this particular full moon is special because it's the first full moon of the zodiac calendar. And it is also the first full moon of this new annual season. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's your first official spring full moon. And so this is a real, and I think it's also really important to take note that the zodiac calendar, which begins around 2021, which marks the beginning of Aries season, happens to coincide with sort of the introduction, the official global introduction of the pandemic into our daily lives. So when we use this moon, we will be using it to really reflect on a very unprecedented and wild time. And I say wild because the rules, the systems, and the structures that guided us before started to crumble and stopped working, and we needed to find new ways. And many of us, I think, felt like we were in the wilderness, sort of without a compass. And so looking back on the past 12 months under this new moon, which illuminates everything that came up for us, can be incredibly powerful. And so this particular full moon is really super exciting. What else did I put down here? It's an invitation to look at the losses, yes, and also the gifts, because there are, and without devaluing the losses and the difficulties and the pain and the heartache and the atrocities of the past 12 months, there has been learning. There have been shifts in the way we relate to ourselves personally, and shifts in the way we relate to our work, and shifts in the way we relate to our families and each other. And it's important that to keep ourselves well in heart and mind, that we remember the lessons, and that we choose consciously to celebrate the resilience that we've had, the connections, with ourselves, with spirit, with our loved ones that we've made, albeit some of them more virtual than we would have liked. And also what has become really clear to us in terms of our priorities. And so while we celebrate the losses, I want to invite you, when we come together on Sunday, to also celebrate the gifts. And I have a ritual set up. Well, actually it's not set up yet, but I'm still designing it, and I'm really excited about it, where we're going to do that, and we're also going to get clear on what it's time to release. And we're going to consider, not necessarily clarify, but start to consider what our intentions are for the year to come. What we want to really ponder over this next lunar cycle that is going to nourish us and those around us, and really like prepare to prepare our intentions and prepare to focus on what is sort of truly, madly, deeply most important to us in the year to come. So that is really the fifth reason why it will honor this full moon. So first of all, it's an excuse to stop and just slow down and be. Second of all, when you do stop and slow down and be, you're connecting to something bigger, more predictable, magical, an ancient kind of wisdom, which is so calming. So reason number 3 is just simply calming and healing. And then reason number 4 is because the full moon has this amazing energy of illumination, and it gives us this opportunity, because if we have been on the go all the time, if we've been rushing around all the time, then we don't have that opportunity. But this is an invitation to stop and to really take the time to reflect on what has been coming up for us under this full moon, or what has been coming up for us over the past months that we've been too busy to deal with, too busy to process. So this is that opportunity to really sit in that illumination, to reflect in that illumination, and to get clear on, what the gifts have been, whether they be through learnings or losses, and also to start to consider and ponder what we want to take forward, and get really clear and begin the process of releasing what is no longer serving us. So that is, and of course doing it. So that's the fourth reason, right? I'm just going on all over the place. That's the fourth reason. The fifth reason is that this particular full moon, the first full moon of this season, the first full moon of the zodiac calendar, the first full moon after the anniversary of this wild, unprecedented time where we may have felt completely, like I said, without a compass. It's really, I think, doubly important as and I'm feeling like this collective sort of rise in consciousness amongst the women that I work with. And so really, now is a really great moment for us to gather. And there's a sixth reason, actually, and I'm going to add, and it's just for us to get together, for us to gather. There's nothing more powerful and beautiful and healing than a group of women coming and sitting together. Even if it's virtually, there's a very special energy there. And so that really special, beautiful energy, to share that and to share that under the energy of the full moon in sisterhood, well, that is just the most beautiful reason of all, isn't it? So there you have it. 6 beautiful reasons for you to really honor the full moon. And you can do it in whatever way works for you. I am going to be hosting a sacred ceremony under the full moon on Sunday at noon Eastern time. And I would love for you to join me. It's an opportunity for you also to learn how to create your own moon ritual. So you're going to walk away not only having experienced a gorgeous, transformational full moon ritual, you're also going to walk away with the knowledge that you need to create your own rituals moving forward. Let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to tag me. I am so excited to be there, and I'm going to put the link in the comments below so that you can go ahead and sign up. The investment for this is $44, so everything will be recorded in case you can't make it live. You come, you join, you experience, you learn how to do this for yourself in the future, and then you take it away into your own world. So, yes, that's all I have to say. I'd love to hear what you think, and share in the comments below. Hope to see you on Sunday.